y'all. What's going on? Welcome back to the AC podcast. Today, me and Corwin are we're movie reviewing the last episode of Stranger Things. So, Corwin, how did you feel about the last episode of Stranger Things?
When we saw it in theaters, a lot of things went well. I can admit that.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. I really liked the last episode actually. In my opinion, man. Yeah. So there was a lot of good stuff about the last episode of Stranger Things, of course. I
Yeah.
think they sent off a lot of the characters, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Pretty well, like for instance, like Hopper proposing to Joyce, they were gonna move to California and stuff. And the older kids going off to college, and stuff. How did you feel about that, Corwin?
I feel like it was pretty well written. By the Duffel brothers. I feel like it was pretty good. Eleven's story. I don't really know. Because I didn't like that it was like up to us to decide if like she was like alive or not. If she was like living this life with like the three waterfalls, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, man. The graduation, that was probably my favorite part of the episode, right, Corwin? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked how Dustin, made a stand for Eddie, what he was trying to do, while he was alive anyways on
Yeah,
season
yeah,
4.
paid some homage to Eddie, flipping
Yeah.
off the principal, what Eddie said in uh season 4 episode 1, at the lunch table. That was awesome cuz I mean Eddie was just such a great character for the Stranger Things, And some other things I really liked was, the world layout was cool of Stranger Things, it was the Upside Down was like the middle grounds of the dimensions to, Dimension X in the real world, Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like how they added, like, a wormhole aspect to it. It was pretty great.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, dude, it was sick, man, and, dude, Will having powers, dude, that was lit, man. He was able to uh, control Vecna, and talk to Vecna,
Yeah.
in his mind and stuff, man. How did you feel about that, Corwin?
Uh, I did like the scenes when, Vecna felt some weakness, when a villain, like, has a breaking point, like, you can see how they can be defeated.
Yeah, like him seeing his old memory of him killing that guy, right?
Yeah.
And him getting corrupted by the upside down material, and yeah, he was just like really, vulnerable in that
Yeah.
situation, man. Um, yeah, that's what I like about Stranger Things, or a lot of shows. The villain has some weakness, like showing some weakness of Vecna. Because most of the show it's just showing like the strengths of him, but Will trying to take him over, to the good side.
Yeah.
But of course, Vecna's like no, no, the upside down, uh corrupted me and it told me the truth, and then Will's like, "Oh yeah, well, don't do that." And I'm like, Yeah." So, yeah, that very interesting. I also I also really liked it. Dustin getting invited to the party by Stacy. In season 2, he gets rejected at the dance.
Yeah.
But of course, Stacy's like, "Oh yeah, hey Dustin, I got this party." So Dustin kind of takes the upper hand, man, because Stacy realizes that Dustin's kind of a cool kid, and he's kind of like that. He's like that Eddie aspect to him almost. You know what I'm saying, Corwin?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll go out with her because Dustin probably thinks in his mind, "Oh, he probably just asked me out to, like, go to the party, because, they just, saved the world."
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
I don't know if Dustin still has feelings for Stacy. That was in what, middle school, so I don't know, but Dustin seemed pretty thrilled. You know what I'm saying? He's like, he's going over to Mike and Will. He's like, dude, guess what? Stacy just asked me to this party. Should we go? And then of course Mike's like, oh yeah, let's not do that. Um, there was a lot of I saw a lot of episode reviews on it, and a lot of people didn't like the last scene.
Yeah.
They didn't. I guess Dustin. Yeah. Yeah. Dustin, Will, Mike, Lucas, and Max. They're playing D&D.
Yep. Yep.
Finishing because they started off in the series. They s- they started the series playing D&D, and they end it playing D&D. And I liked how that new kids started playing D&D and stuff, man. Like Holly and Derek. They're kind of taking over as the friend group.
Yeah.
And the theory. Another thing I liked was 11 still being alive. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, like giving Mike some hope. Because you know, you know, uh, after 11 died, you know, after 11 died, Mike was pretty depressed, man. Hopper had to come in there and give him some, give him some information. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And none of my main character, none of my favorite characters dying. I know there's a lot of stuff that Steve was gonna die, or Dustin was gonna die,
Yeah.
or even Jonathan. I saw a couple takes on that. They didn't die. So yeah, that was good. Corwin, do you have any negatives about the show?
Yeah. Going back to like the movie theaters and stuff. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. But then, when I check back on like the whatever other people thought, then like you see like the 56 the splat with the popcorn rating. And I
Yeah.
was a little confused. And when you dig deeper, like you see like all these fans, the fan base, like coming up all of these plot holes. Like I saw this one video, it's like 43 plot holes, and I was like, I can only come up with like three in the whole like two last episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is a little overboard. 43 problems. I mean, yeah.
Oh
It,
yeah, that's a lot of issues. That's like a lot of negative to such a great show made by a giant company, the Duffer Brothers and Netflix producing it and stuff, man. That's a lot of hard takes. So,
yeah, I feel like the fans' hopes were a little too high for this one. Like, I saw these, like, reviews and stuff, and, like, there was this, like, one guy, like, the Brothers can't use too much money, so
yeah, well, I think that's kind of stupid because, Stranger Things is probably one of the greatest shows of all time. And if they're having like budget issues, I feel like that would, make the show less great. They have less, time to make like cool sets and, like scripting and stuff. You know what I'm saying, Corwin?
yeah, I feel like they did use the budget pretty well, like, the sets were
Oh,
pretty
oh,
good,
one hundred
like, pretty
percent.
well.
But what if they had more money? Of course, right?
Yeah, yeah, I feel like if they just used their budget a little bit more wisely, like, the final battle, I feel like it would've been added more depth and more suspense if they would've, like, put the demo dogs or the demogorgons, like, in the middle of that, so a little more challenging.
Well, yeah, 'cause, that scene only lasted for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Him fighting the giant spider, and, it was this giant creature that was controlling Will's mind for the whole series, and it was like he was the villain of Stranger Things, right? And it was kind of a letdown. I mean, this giant monster spider thing literally got killed off by, like, grenades and, like,
Yeah.
fire. That's ridiculous. This creature's from Dimension X, man. Yeah, like that's kind of ridiculous. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, it just felt way too easy in my opinion. That, some of the suspense and buildup, felt pointless kind of to me. I mean, it's still pretty cool, but, mostly pointless to the fans that didn't think it was so great, and, yeah, I can kinda relate to that.
Well, I can totally relate to it, man. Yeah, dude, and like like they were having like such this issue. They were running away from the monster, and then 11 like goes inside the monster and fighting Vecna inside the spider, and
Yeah.
like, Mike's like, "Oh yeah, let's go help 11." So let's and the plan was the plan was like too easy almost. Lucas was like, "Okay, let's go on these mountains over here and let's ambush it." It's this giant spider. Like how is fire in like these like like these like little weapons they're using, how is that going to kill this giant spider? you know and I know 11's fighting Vecna inside of it, and they're like controlled, they're the same thing, the spider
Yeah.
and Vecna, but I mean still,
Yeah, back to, like, introducing, like, the Demogorgons and, like, the Demo Dogs, I feel like, it would've been really interesting, like, more like a side thing, like 11 fighting Vecna, obviously, but,
yeah,
as, the rest of the characters, like, scaling those, tall cliffs or, like, hills, to, like, get on top,
yeah.
get the high ground, I feel like if they, like the Demogorgons will, like, be attacking them, like, as they were going up,
Yeah,
that would be kinda interesting.
dude, that would be really interesting because they'd have to fight the spiders, man. And yeah, why aren't they using the Demogorgons? When you think of the Upside Down, you think of the Demogorgons, right? Why are they not in the final episode? Like why are they? Why is the crew not fighting the Demogorgon? The like one of the first like one of the first upside down creatures we encounter in the
Yeah.
show. Like I just feel like the Duffer Brothers, like, they didn't do a good job on that.
Yeah, way too much emotional scenes, like, I was just like, 2 hours, and I was like, "Okay, there better be a decent amount of action in this one," and, I don't think they really delivered with that. I mean, some of the emotional scenes were
Yeah, yeah.
pretty well written, but, I feel like there would've been if there was more action, it would've been a lot better for me.
Yeah, well, like, the stuff with Will, man, I feel like, I know a lot of people have a lot of strong opinions about, Will the actor, his experience of acting, and, my opinion, I don't think he's a good actor, man. The actor for Will, man. He just doesn't have that much emotion, and crying doesn't mean you have good emotion, you know what I'm saying? Being able to just like cry on, oh yeah, I can cry, that's like not good acting, I mean, have some more emotion besides like neutral and crying, and Will.
Yeah, I feel like he can just, like yeah, he can cry, but, like, I feel like he should, like, blend in with more of the emotions and, like
Well, yeah, because I mean, Dustin and Mike, that they have a lot of emotion, and
yeah.
Lucas, I feel like um, uh, they're like more of a character than what Will is. Dustin has all this stuff going on, and Lucas has all this stuff going on, and I feel like that they're just more of a character than Will is. I feel like Will is just kind of an NPC.
Yeah, he tries a little too hard to make us emotional, and it kinda gives, like, the side thought of him being a little cringe.
Oh, he is. Will is very cringe in the last episode. That is a side thought. That is a thought.
Yeah, him being cringe is, like, carried on since, like, the 4th season, like, when you can kinda see that, Will likes Mike, obviously, it's kinda like, yeah.
It's kinda cringe, especially the last episode when, W Will has to tell everybody that, he doesn't like girls, and, that's probably the cringest scene in Stranger Things, probably by far, actually. That
Yeah.
was very hard to watch. That was a hard watch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know. Yeah, it just wasn't really well written for his character. I don't feel like it was very necessary. Maybe other people liked it, certain fan, certain fans, obviously would have liked that
Yeah,
standpoint of Will, but
like me being a fan of Stranger Things, I wanted a lot of action, and the final episode did have a decent amount of action, but it just had like I feel like it wasn't hard for them to defeat Vecna, and it was just like the end of season 4. They already defeated Vecna basically, so like we already knew what was gonna happen. We already knew. Oh, we they didn't have any like I feel like there like, for me, there wasn't really any question marks about, how they were gonna kill Vecna. Oh, yeah, just like, Will was gonna, like, control his mind while Eleven does her hand thing,
Yeah.
and yeah, like, there wasn't any, like, mystery about it, and
Yeah, adding on to that, like, they just defeated, like, Vecna, the Mind Flayer so easily, that when they're, like, driving back to, like, the normal world, I thought something was gonna happen. I thought, like, the shadow version that we got to see in, like, season 2 was gonna pop out of nowhere and, like, I don't know, yeah, just add another more death to that.
yeah, well, of course, last thing is, 11 sacrificing herself. I do like the theory, and this makes Mike feel better, which Hopper told Mike. But like, 11's in where's she at, like Ireland or something? She's in some
Yeah.
faraway land, that like nobody can find her, and yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish 11 being gone so, like, the military can't take her powers and stuff, but I feel like Mike and 11 should be together, 'cause they're really big, characters. They're really big characters together, and I feel like it just doesn't feel right them being separated, you know what I'm saying, Corwin?
Yeah, I feel like, Mike and Eleven just had so much chemistry. I liked
Yeah,
how
yeah,
their love relationship and, yeah, I feel like the fans woulda liked the final one a lot better if they would've been together.
yeah, and, I did like, before the graduation and, Lucas and Max, they were getting intimate and stuff, they were like, Max was being Max and Lucas was being Lucas, and coming back that whole I really felt that whole scene was great, and um, Dustin wearing his Hellfire Lives Again, shirt, and
Yeah.
uh huh,
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, the whole final episode wasn't so great, and, like, that's obvious, like, we've been talking about but, like, adding on to that, like, another layer of that, the fans thought they're kinda so disappointed, and, like, it ended so easily, and, like, fans didn't, like, wanna accept it was gonna be over, that they wanted another episode, and, like, they theorized everything and
oh
made a big
yeah,
deal about that.
oh yeah, well, on the 7th, right, Corwin, on the 7th, they thought a ninth episode was gonna come out, and I was scrolling TikTok and I saw all these videos, and it was like, oh yeah, that there's this website, and if you click on it there's a countdown, and I guess Netflix posted something about they posted something about like a teaser, like Netflix, that there was going to be another episode, but of course the 7th came, eh, January 7th came,
Yeah.
and there was nothing. You check Netflix, you go to season 5, nothing. And after that date, the website that you can see that had the teaser and stuff, it was just like a joke website. So it was just somebody just playing a joke, and
Oh,
it fooled the whole internet. So yeah.
I did not hear about that.
Oh,
No.
you didn't? Yeah,
No, I
no,
didn't.
no, it was interesting, man. Like I was watching all these TikToks, man. It was like people really getting into it. They were like, "Oh yeah, is Mike and the gang, are they gonna go and try to find 11?" And I saw other stuff like the episode was gonna be like 6 hours long or something, and
Yeah.
I was like, "There's no way Netflix is gonna do that." To be honest, I feel like that would be really cool if Netflix did that, had a secret episode, not 6 hours long, but I
For
mean, that would be
sure.
cool, but, like, even 30 minutes, just like a little, like, teaser, Yeah, even for the animated series that's coming out, Corwin, right?
Yeah.
Just like because that's in between 2 and 3, season 2 and 3.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, just like a little bit of backstory on that, and, yeah, I'm actually, pretty excited about the, animated series. How do you feel about that, Corwin?
I don't really know where they're gonna go with that. They could make it interesting. Hopefully they make it as good as quality as the Stranger Things was.
Yeah, like the same, like, plot ideas kinda, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was there's still big stuff going on, like all the other seasons and stuff. Yeah, that'd be really cool. We kind of get some side of the gang, like because it's season 2 and they're like what 7th grade, 6th grade or something.
Yeah.
Um, and then third season, they're in high school, they're ninth graders, and there is like two years that separate them, you know what I'm saying? And I mean 2 years can happen a lot. I mean, my personal experience, I've changed a lot in past 2 years. I mean, ninth grade self to sixth grade self. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Corwin? So,
Yeah.
um, they just matured so much as characters. So I think showing that would be really important for the fan base, and yeah, just anybody who's interested in the show. Yeah,
It
yeah,
would be
man.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so, dude, how do you feel about, Hopper and Joyce moving to California? Because, do you think Will is gonna come with them?
Was it New York or California?
Let me look that up real quick. Cause I mean, that'd be both cool. So they actually moved to New York, so you are correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not moving to California. I had that in my notes, of course. Yeah, so I guess they're, what the Google says is that they are moving to New York, and they are, I guess, getting a fresh start by the ocean. And they're probably gonna get married somewhere, there, and yeah, I think that's like a really good ending to their characters. You know what I'm saying? Because whole series, even when Joyce was dating, what's his name? Season 2, what's his name?
Bob?
Bob, yeah, Bob,
Yeah.
dude, Bob was
He's great.
he is great, man. He's he he played a really funny role. I feel like in that, and seeing him die by the Demogorgon, it was gruesome. That was a gruesome scene. Um, even that, I mean, you knew Hopper still liked Joyce.
Yeah.
You knew this, right? But
Little hints. Yeah.
there were hints. There were definite hints, and like, Hopper trying to get a date with Joyce and, trying to get closer to Joyce and stuff.
Yeah.
And how did you feel about the kids going off to college and stuff? How did you feel about that? How did you like that whole like season and
Uh, I was fine with it. I kind of like that. I don't have no problem with that. It's
yeah,
fun.
yeah, in my opinion, I thought they really ended it off really well. Uh, you know, there's a lot of question marks. Like they didn't. There's still like a lot of stuff that we don't know about them, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I know a lot of fans wanted some very, clean breakouts. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
knew exactly what they were doing, but they're just all going off to college, and they're all gonna meet up in Pennsylvania, to go and hang out and stuff, man. Um, yeah. And, yeah, Corwin, so, what was your statement again? Um,
Yeah. Going back to like all of them going to college and stuff. I just feel like we could have just had more explanation and stuff, like what happened to them and stuff. Because after the finale and stuff,
yeah.
and everyone wanted to know that type of stuff. Everyone went to the Duffel Brothers, of course, because like they wrote the show. They should know that.
Yeah.
They should know where they ended up, and they acted kind of clueless. And I was like, "What? Like, how do they not know where their characters ended up at? Like, that's kind of confuses me."
Oh, yeah, so, cool, when you're talking about, like, later in the future and stuff, like, they're going to the Duffel Brothers to, uh, talk about, like, what their future is gonna look like and stuff. Is that what you're
Yeah,
talking about, Corwin? Okay. Well, yeah, yeah, I'm actually very interested in, what paths they're gonna go down because, they're very important, characters to the show, and, yeah, I feel like they very much deserve an explanation, So, Corwin, I totally understand what you're talking about, man. Yeah.
yeah. I feel like the fans do definitely had the right to like come up and confront them and be like, "What happened to them? Like, what happened to our characters that we've been watching for like 10 years?" And I feel like the plot problems with the show, the plot holes, like some of them that the fans have been talking about, like why had the military had the characters arrested because Nancy like she like shot like a dozen of them like before they went to the like yeah
Oh, yeah, so, like, they got released and stuff why they got released and stuff because Nancy
yeah
killed all it well, no, that makes total sense because, when they were going, between the overworld to the Upside Down, and,
yeah
Hopper and Nancy were all, they're all shooting all the guards and stuff, man. I
yeah
mean, Nancy probably killed what, yeah, like 10 or 12 what were you saying, 10 or 12 soldiers or something?
yeah a
Yes.
dozen of them
Yeah, so, yeah, why are they releasing why are
yeah
the military releasing Nancy, who's like this psychopath who killed like 12 of their soldiers? I mean, she should
yeah
be like in jail, supposedly by the military, of course. But
psychopath in their eyes yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I just feel like another one was like Max was like in the hospital, like she had like bones broken, all that stuff. She was like brain dead, and all of a sudden she's skateboarding. And the Duffer Brothers don't really have a anything to say about that. They're kind of clueless.
well, yeah, because those are like it's 18 months. It's 18 months over, um, the end where they blow up the Upside Down and stuff to the graduation and stuff. Um, yeah, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like she could recover from that. I mean, she is also like, in a wheelchair, and she's probably not even thinking straight. I mean, she's been
Yeah,
in a coma for like, the whole season. So, um, yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. That's I
yeah.
mean,
In the show, it like shows her in a cast. Like she had like multiple casts across her body, and like she just got up was in a wheelchair for a little bit, which is, like, acceptable. She should be in a wheelchair.
yeah, yeah.
She probably doesn't even know how to walk around because she's been in a coma. She probably has to figure out how to actually, like, move around and stuff again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that takes, like that takes some therapy, you
Oh,
think?
oh, yeah, 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 well, I mean, it's still 18 weeks or 18 months, 18 months, I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah, but
So,
she just woke up. She just, like, just now woke up, so I feel like that applies to, like, her future, but no, I guess not.
yeah, yeah, I don't know, being the Duffel brothers, there's a lot of question marks about that, and, yeah, how she has the coordination to skateboard after, her being in a coma for what however amount of time, and yeah, her being in a wheelchair and she couldn't even walk, Lucas had to carry her out of the hospital and stuff, and 18 months later, she seems totally okay, it yeah, doing all this like mobile moving, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like, yeah, the Duffel brothers are just like they don't even know about their own characters, and I'm like, okay, I don't know,
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
well, yeah, there's just like a bunch of question marks about like all these characters, no, Corwin, I totally understand you, man. um Corwin, do you got anything else?
Yeah, I just feel like one more thing, the plot armor, was a little too intensive. Like I would like to if there would have been a little bit more like action leading more to like maybe like Steve dying or something like that. Just more emotional death. Not just 11 because yeah, I don't know. My connection with 11 was a little wasn't too stable. I didn't care about her too much compared to like Steve or Dustin or like even Hopper.
Yeah, well, cause I mean, yeah, Dustin, Steve, Hopper, exactly. They're like beloved by the community of Stranger Things and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, and if one of them died, that would have been crazy. That I don't even know if that they would take that positively, or you know what I'm saying, Corwin. I think that that would make the episode worse. You know what I'm saying, Corwin? If one of the favorite characters died. But I also get you that it would make it a more emotional death
yeah,
because the um yeah, like the audience would be like more connected to their death more than 11 because
yeah,
11, she's like in a lab and stuff, she's from this lab, and uh so she just doesn't have like that human personality that Dustin, Steve, and Hopper, and Lucas and all these other characters have. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got you, Corwin.
I just feel like her emotions are a little, I don't know, she doesn't have a lot of emotions, going for her. She doesn't talk very often, not a lot until, like, season 5, and, yeah, yeah.
Well, it's hard for her because she's not used to talking in like human culture, like you know, yeah, yeah, and like throughout the seasons, she like progresses, like she's able to like word stuff out more, because
Yeah.
she's just around people, so she just knows it. So yeah, I got you, Corwin.
Yeah, I just feel like that's one of the reasons we're just not as connected. It's it's nothing to do, like nothing wrong with her character, but, like, yeah, I just feel like killing her off, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it's not as much to heart, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sweet guys. Well, hey, thanks. Thanks for talking to me, Corwin. Of course, man.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Thanks for listening to the end, y'all. You know, uh, me and Corwin always have a fun time talking about this and talking about Stranger Things, man. Yeah,
And, yeah, we'll be, trying to posting podcasts every weekend. We'll be trying to. Like, we have schedules and stuff like sports and stuff, but we'll get around to it.
yeah. We'll definitely get around it. We'll try to get some more interviews going, man.
Yeah.
We'll take any feedback in the comments, of course. Yeah, and we'll see y'all later.